Hi students, welcome to the session on magnetic boundary conditions. We know that magnetic field is continuous in single medium, right? So that is well known. But at the boundary between two different medium, the magnetic field will change considerably. So there, what will happen at the boundary between the two mediums? What will happen to the magnetic field at the boundary between the two medium that we are going to see in this class, right? So let us consider the boundary formed by two linear isotropic material with the permeability mu1 and mu2. This is the boundary. This is medium 1, whatever in this side is medium 2. So let us assume that this is Bn1, right, and Bn2 are normal components of magnetic flux density in medium 1 and medium 2, right. So we have to find both the tangential and normal component, whereas Bt1 and Bt2 are a tangential component of magnetic field, right. So first we have to find normal component of magnetic field. So in order to find the normal component of magnetic field, we have a Gaussian pillbox, right. So with the height of del h, right. So by using this, we are going to find the normal component of magnetic field. Okay. So you see, we have to shrink the height of the Gaussian pillbox to 0. It must be very small in order to avoid flux leakage from the surface, right? To avoid flux leakage from the side. Okay, right. So now we will. So we how we find what do you call tangential and normal component of electric field in electrostatics. The same method we are going to use here also. There we used Gauss law for electric field to find the normal component. Here we use Gauss law for magnetic field. So we know Gauss law for magnetic field is B dot ds is equal to 0. I apply this Gauss law for magnetic field to Gaussian pillbox to find the magnetic normal component. So it is a surface integral. So I split the surface into three component. One is top surface, so top B dot ds plus bottom B dot ds and side surface B dot ds is equal to 0. Okay. So now you see in top we are going to take a dot product between B and ds, that is magnetic field and surface area. You will see in top the magnetic field normal component is going this side ds. We know that always ds is outward normal, so it is perpendicular to the surface. Both are parallel. Similarly in parallel down also, in the bottom surface also, B and ds are parallel. So whereas you see in surface, side surface, normal component will be always perpendicular, but here it is outward normal is this direction. Here outward normal is this direction. So B is going in this direction, surface is going in this direction. So the angle between them is 90 degree. So in top surface it is parallel, so 0 degree. In bottom also it is parallel, the angle between them is 0 degree. Here it is 90 degree. Okay. So when you apply dot product, what happens? It is cancelled because BDS cos 90, it will be 0. So what we have is BDS. So BDS cos 0 is simply BDS. So B into DS top plus B into ds bottom. I take a dot product, so it will become a magnitude. So we know in a top what is the thing. Okay, in top what is B? B is Bn 1 or 2. It is a surface number 1. So it is Bn1. You see, it is Bn1. So here also it is Bn1. In bottom it is C. It is Bn2, but it is opposite to Bn1. So we will put this side Bn2. But surface area, you see, in top it is top. It is going up. In bottom it is opposite. So what we are going to do here is, in top it is Bn1 into ds, total surface area, right? B is a uniform magnetic field, take it outside. So integral ds, we can take simply ds, and bottom it is opposite. So Bn to ds. Surface is the angle between them is 0, right? Here what they are going in the bottom side, but in the opposite direction, so area will be opposite. So minus 1 minus, so it will be 0. So what it is happening, Bn1 is equal to Bn2. This is the very important condition, first boundary condition. Okay, so Bn1 is equal to Bn2. We know B is equal to mu H, so mu1 Hn1 is equal to mu2 Hn2. This is the normal component of magnetic field at the boundary between the two different media. From this, what we understand is, right? So what we are understanding here, you see, at the boundary, this is the boundary, right? At the boundary, normal component of B is continuous. Normal component of B is continuous. Normal component of magnetic field is continuous. Okay, write properly. Normal component of magnetic field is continuous, whereas, and you see, normal component of H, normal component of H is discontinuous because it is same. Bn1 is equal to Bn2 means both are same, so it is continuous. Here you see mu1, mu2 are different values, so the total answer will be different. You understand? Mu1 is not equal to mu2, right? So they will have a different value. So normal component of H is discontinuous at the boundary. That is very important conclusion. Okay, so that's what we learned from normal component. Here see, you may have some doubt here, Bn1 minus Bn2. So again I wish to emphasize that here you see this is ds. So what is the unit vector is in this direction, n cap. So ds vector is equal to ds into n cap, right? Here you see unit vector is in opposite, outward normal. So ds is equal to, right, ds minus n cap. Okay, please remember, that's why it is minus. So again, if you don't know, please refer that, right? So that's why it becomes Bn1 ds minus Bn2 ds. Okay, so normal component is continuous, normal component of B is continuous, and normal component of H is discontinuous. Now we find tangential component of magnetic field. Tangential component of magnetic field at the boundary. Right? So in order to find tangential components, like what we did in electric field, we have to take a pillbox, this loop, right? So here we apply a, what do you call, Ampere circuital law to find the answer, right? So how we are going to find, let us see. So we find H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. We apply Ampere circuital law. We know it's like this only, right? So AB, CD, and this is DL. This is what loop, right? So I split a total loop into 4 parts, right? So A to B, H dot DL plus B to C, integral B to C, H dot DL plus C to D, H dot DL plus D to A, H dot DL is equal to 0. Sorry, I enclosed. Okay, so what happens here? And as usual, we reduce the height del h, the height del h that we have done that. So del h should be 0 in order to avoid flux leakage from the surface. So del h 0 means what will happen? This AD and BC component will become 0 because here height DL is del h. So if del h 0, total value will become 0. So AD or DA, BC component will be 0 because dl is nothing but a length that is given by del h, which tends to 0. Okay, so that is very important. So what is the only thing we have? We have A to B H dot dl plus C to D H dot dl is equal to I enclosed. right? The arrow mark will be like this direction. Hope you have seen that. Okay. So what will happen here? So we know here dl is in this direction. We are going to bother about tangential component. We have drawn tangential component. It will be ht. This is hn. This is what your h. So tangential component is also in this direction. dl is also in this direction. So what is the angle between them? In AB 0. Here tangential component in this direction in CD, but what do you call this? Length is opposite direction. So the angle is 180 degree, right? See, in CD you see tangential component goes this direction. CD goes opposite direction. Yes or no? So the angle between them is 180 degree. Okay, now we apply the rule. What is HDL? HDL is nothing but H is nothing but HT1. DL means what do you call? DL is same DL. Okay, so HT1, the angle between them is cos 0. So cos 0, right? So HT1 DL minus is 180. So that's what cos HT2 DL is in the bottom. So it is T2 DL cos 180 minus. So that's what it will be I enclosed, right? So AB is in top side. Please remember, AB is in top side. It has a HT1 component. CD is in bottom side. It has HT2 component, right? So if you have any doubt, please again I go there to original diagram. You see HT1 in a topmost, AB is in the HT1 category and CD is in HT2 side, right? So that's what I put HT1 minus angle between them is 180. That's why HT2 DL cos 180. So now HT1 minus HT2 is equal to I enclosed by DL. Current per unit length is current density. So HT1 minus HT2 is equal to current density, ampere per meter. We know that current is ampere, DL length is meter, ampere per meter. We know HT1, H is also having a unit of ampere per meter. So it is matching perfectly, right? So what is the thing we are understanding from this? You see, HT1 is not equal to HT2. Then only it will be continuous. Here HT1 minus HT2 is some J. When HT1 will be equal to HT2, that means HT1 minus HT2 will be equal to 0. But here HT1 minus HT2 is not equal to 0. 0 means they are continuous because both are same value. Here HT1 minus HT2 is not equal to 0. They are equal to J. So tangential component is discontinuous. Tangential component of H is discontinuous. It is very important conclusion, right? So what is the thing next we have to do? We have to find what is B value. We know H is equal to B by mu. So BT1 by mu1 minus BT2 by X minus BT2 by mu2, that is equal to J vector, right? So that is very important. So this is the tangential conditions at the boundary, right? So if the medium is non-conducting on the boundary, what happens? Non-conducting means current will be 0. So HT1 will be equal to HT2. At that time, the tangential component will be continuous. HT1 minus HT2 is equal to 0 provided if the media is non-conducting. Non-conducting means there won't be any current. So J is equal to 0. J0 means HT1 minus HT2 is equal to 0. This implies HT1 is equal to HT2. Now tangential component will become continuous. So in non-conducting medium only, the tangential component of magnetic field will be continuous. Okay. So that's all about this session. If you have any doubt, please ask me in comment section. Thank you.